Well, thank you again, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to all of the panelists for your input. Mr. Parks, I really want to indicate again the great work that you're doing is very much appreciated at MEDC. We really appreciate your great work in getting out the word about the federal partnership opportunities that we've been working on together and how businesses can be a part of that. It's also a great sense of pride for me that we are, in fact, becoming a clean energy manufacturing leader in Michigan, and there's been a tremendous amount of hard work that's gone into that. And I know you've been very much a part of it, and I've been pleased to do my part on this end as well. With the 48C in the Recovery Act, can you, again, tell us how many companies in Michigan have been successful in receiving the credit, and also talk a little bit about what these companies are doing?
I think we had 12 companies, $242 million award, approximately 10% of the award. Most of our awards were in solar and wind, ranging from monosilene, which is a material in the thin film photovoltaic sector that was a Dow Corning award, to a tool and die shop in, I think, Battle Creek that diversified Great Lakes technology that diversified into gearbox manufacturing for the wind industry. So we also know that we had a number of projects that were teed up then and are teed up now. We've closed in 2009 about $9 billion in business in the alternative energy arena, and we're actively working to pursue the supply chain, many of which we're recruiting from Asia right now to support our battery industry, for example. And we think we have a significant pent-up demand potentially for 48Cs if they are reauthorized.
Well, I wanted to ask a little bit more about that because, as I indicated earlier, I was successful in the Budget Committee in being able to get the inclusion of an additional $5 billion that would expand 48C. And, of course, the chairman has been leading our efforts legislatively, and pleased to work with the chairman on this. But it's important to look at the kinds of companies that could take advantage of this in Michigan or any other state, but specifically in Michigan. You know, are there companies? What do you see in terms of the specifics if we were to expand this very important manufacturing credit?
So what we did early on, for us, it was about jobs. It was about diversifying the auto manufacturing industry, or the suppliers to the auto space. We spent a lot of time identifying what the value chain was and put diversification programs together for auto suppliers. We have over 400 companies, for example, that are teed up that have been and still are auto suppliers that are looking to diversify into wind component manufacturing, for example, which we think is an easy transition for our folks, many of which we think would be applicants in this process. We have a number of folks, I don't know if people know, but 80% of the R&D in the auto industry happens 50 miles from the Renzen in downtown Detroit. A number of the folks that have been all auto R&D are looking to diversify within the auto sector. That's a key point we like to make on the energy storage side on batteries. We have a number of defense companies that are looking, or people that want to support defense that are looking at diversifying into clean tech to support some of the renewable portfolio standards in the defense sector. So we believe we have about $1 billion pipeline in applicants. I don't want to necessarily foreshadow what we have, but we have a large number of applicants that I think would help, if successful, would help us accelerate our plans in Michigan. And again, I'm here talking about jobs in Michigan. So.
Right, which I think for the two of us in the room, at least that's a absolute top priority, certainly. Talk a little bit more about the race with China. We've talked today about what's happening in other countries. We know that latest numbers I saw, China was spending about $288 million every day to beat us on clean energy technology, and we certainly don't want to go from a dependence on foreign oil to a dependence on foreign technology. So could you talk about 48C in terms of closing that gap with China?
Well, again, 48C is part of a comprehensive plan we put in place. On the battery side, for example, we were recruiting companies, even US-based companies, that were going to manufacture exclusively in China. And so we put our refundable tax credits together to recruit those folks, and we're successful in recruiting a Korean battery manufacturer, two battery manufacturers in the U.S. that were manufacturing solely in China to manufacture in Michigan. They, as well as their suppliers, are going to be applicants as they expand into the supply chain and into their activities in Michigan. But 48C, again, for us, is part of the puzzle. And one of the recommendations that we had early on is I think we all need to have shared skin in the game as we go forward. And we would hope that you would look for states that are aggressive, that have done their homework in how they're creating jobs and ecosystems and supply chains that will be sustainable. And that 48C is a very important part of that as we locate these manufacturers and then grow the supply chain.
Thank you. I see my time is up, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.